November 9th, 2010. Black Ops 1 came out on a Tuesday. I was 10 years old, and I played this game until 2 in the morning on a school night. And the only thing I was worried about was whether my mom could hear the TV or me yelling at it, swearing, because I was one away from a chopper. I'm 26 now. I have about $5,500 in savings in a high-yield savings account. I just paid off my car debt, and I make $70K a year. But that's not what this video is about. The video is about what happened in between, because I think most of us got sold the same story. And I want to lay out exactly where mine broke. If you're watching this, you're probably somewhere close to my age. You played these games, you know the sound of this reload without looking at the screen. And I'd bet money you also thought 26 would look a lot different than it does right now. I'm going to walk through 4 things: what we were told 26 would be, what actually happened, the real numbers I'm sitting on right now, and the one thing I'd change if I could go back to being 22 or 23. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's fine. I don't think it's fine, but I don't think we're finished either. And by the end of this video, I'll show you why. So here's what 26 was supposed to be. You go to school, you get the job. By your mid-20s, you've got your own place, a car that isn't falling apart, and enough left over at the end of the month that you don't have to think about it. And that was the deal. Nobody sat us down and said it out loud, but every adult in our lives acted like it was automatic. Then rent doubled. A house went from something you buy in your 20s to something you inherit. Groceries got expensive enough that people my age genuinely have to budget for them. And the wild part is nobody told us the deal changed. We just showed up at 22 with the old instructions and started running plays that don't work anymore. I thought at 18 I could just get a job and be able to fund my life normally like everybody else did, like my parents did when they grew up. That turned out to be completely false. So a lot of us did what I did. We assumed we were doing it wrong, that everybody else figured out something we missed. Now in this part I want to be specific because I struggled with money doesn't mean anything. From 18 to 25, every year my income increased. I was always hourly, making roughly what my age was in dollars per hour. So at 18 I made $18, 19 I made $19. And there were times when I had spurts of saving, but I really never had any savings at all. I mean, I always kept money in my checking account. I always had about $1,000 just sitting in my checking account, earning nothing for 5-6 years. I spent almost my entire paycheck on food, drugs, alcohol, and while I don't regret all of it, I regret not knowing what it would cost me later on. And I didn't open a 401k, a Roth IRA, or a brokerage account until I was 22. But even when I did open a brokerage account, I lost most of my money doing options trading, day trading, and trying to figure out how this whole thing worked. 4 years of paychecks came through my hands, and I have very little to show for them. And the reason wasn't that I was stupid with money, it's that nobody ever made it feel urgent. There's no moment where somebody tells you the clock started. You just look up one day and 4 years is gone. And that's the part that actually bothers me, not the money, the 4 years that I lost. So here's where I'm actually at today. My income, I'm making $70K a year now. I have about $5,500 in a high yield savings account, and I have about $16,000 invested across all my accounts, including my 401k. But I don't have any debt. And I know some of you are watching that thinking that's not much. And you're right, it isn't. And I know some of you are watching it thinking that's way more than you have. And that's the reason I said the numbers out loud. Because the thing that kept me stuck for 4 years wasn't a lack of information. It was that everyone talking about money online was either already rich or pretending to be. Nobody was showing me the middle. Nobody was 26 with $5,000 to their name, $200 to their name, saying here's where I actually am and what I'm actually doing. So that's what this channel is. I'm not ahead of you. I'm maybe 6 months, a year into taking this seriously, and I'm showing the work as it happens. But if I could go back to being 22, I wouldn't tell myself to pick better investments. I'd tell myself one thing: start the smallest version now. Not the correct version, not the optimized version, the smallest one you'll actually do twice. I spent years waiting until I understood enough to start reading, watching, comparing, and the entire time, the amount I invested was zero. $50 a paycheck starting at 22 beats the perfect plan you start at 30. Not because of compound interest, although yeah, that too, but because of what it does to you. Once that money moves automatically, you stop being someone who's gonna start. And that identity flip is worth more than $50. And that's what I'd go back and say to my 22-year-old self. We were 10, 11 on this map. We're 26 now. And there's this feeling I think a lot of us carry around where you're not in a crisis, but you're not okay either. You're just behind, quietly. Here's what I've landed on. We're not behind. We got handed a version of the deal that doesn't work, and nobody updated us. And that's not a personal failure, but we are late. And late is fixable. It just means the next 4 years have to look different than the last 4. And I know mine are going to. That's what I'm doing on this channel. Every 2 weeks when my paycheck hits, I break down exactly where every dollar goes. Not just for you guys, but to also hold myself accountable. And if you want to go see my latest one, you can go check it out right here. I just posted it. Each video is different. depending on the situation and my circumstances at that time, but I do have non-negotiables. I put $350 into my Roth IRA every paycheck, and I explained the one decision I'm still not sure about. I'll see you in that one. But as always, I appreciate y'all for watching, and if you're in a journey where you're trying to be financially free, be sure to subscribe and let's go on this journey together. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.